Hey guys, welcome back to Gunfire Reborn, where today's showcase is going to be the bird. We got the request in from Mr. Pink wanting us to play their boy, and I'm gonna get you an easy R10 win with our guy. So, first of all, let's get into our shape here. I could be a green bird too. And this guy likes to get up close and personal, which in a lot of the harder difficulties of this game will not make for easy wins, but we're going to do a shotgun focused run because he has a lot of good things for that. And to set this up, we're going to take the spiritual blessing for ultimate firearm. He does do shotgun stuff. He can also do melee weapons and explosive weapons. I'll get into that later on. So there could be some other good choices here, like skilled trick. If you can get a gun with a nice right click on it, that one would be fine. If you have something with a bigger magazine, you could take first strike for something like this because you can get that extra damage per ammo. But since we're going with shotguns and we're going to try to stick with shotguns, they don't usually have a large magazine, so first strike doesn't work. And if you actually look in the logbook at the weapons for shotguns, the Hell doesn't have a right click, Illusion, no right click, Argus, no right click, Pupil, Wild Hunt, and the Jackpot don't have right clicks. The Porcupine and the Wheel Saw do, so if you wanted to do skilled trick with a shotgun, you would pretty much have to do one of these two. But since we're going to try to be very consistent with this, instead, I'm going to take ultimate firearm to get a really good shotgun. The only other choices I would really look into is, of course, overconsumption can go with pretty much any build. And counter violence can help out with some crit damage, but shotguns generally don't have a lot of crit, but I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. Getting more crit because the spread on the bullets will most likely not all hit the weak point unless you're using the pupil, or some other things. So counter violence isn't a horrible choice, but what we're going to do now is get the double tap. And we're going to explain this. So what is double tap? Upon hitting an enemy with a weapon, deal damage based on the weapon's base damage and projectile count, including all bonuses applied to the triggering hit. So the important thing to note here is also it's got a 0.3 second cooldown. So when you shoot, one of your pellets in the projectile pool is going to do the whole weapon's damage. So imagine you have a gun that is a shotgun that does 100 base damage and 10 pellets. Then that's going to do 1,000 damage. It's 100 times 10. With double tap, you're going to get, imagine 100 damage 10 times, but then that first one is the whole 100 times 10. So that will be 1,000, and then add the other 900s. You have 1,900. I should have opened MS Paint and drawn that, but I imagine all of you have no aphantasia and you can use the picture drawing in your brain to do that. But it almost, the more projectiles you have, the closer this becomes to double damage for your shotgun every 0.3 seconds. That's the thing to consider here. And since most shotguns don't fire that fast, you can get away with it. And look at that, we get to start with a shotgun. There's a couple things we could do here. We could go for like the move speed. If we're doing weapon damage, you could also do the Shadow Gale. But I'm just gonna go ahead with a good old weapon boost here. It doesn't really go wrong. And then give me the one that I want to start with. You didn't? How rude of you. I'll just take that. So the fact that we're already doing double damage, and we did get, because of ultimate firearm, it's going to be guaranteed to have an orange inscription on it. This one says each projectile hit on an enemy increases basic weapon damage. So as long as we can continuously fire on enemies, we'll keep building up damage. And unless you get something really rapid shooting, you'll almost always get the double tap bonus. There's a couple of shotguns that shoot really fast, like if you have the Wild Hunt, you could do that press and release on it. And again, the whole point of this showcase series is to show that even on the hardest level of difficulty, you can go. Oh, there's a hell. What do you got on you? You're an enhanced, you're a lucky hell. Oh. Just gonna walk through here, no problem. And try to make this as easy as possible. We did not get any of the weapon-related things here. If I had to take something, we'll take the armor, so that if I ever get into a really crummy situation, we can use the leap to get armor back. Now, the hell does have a really long reload on it, so you have to be careful not to accidentally leave yourself wide open. Oh, nice. Thanks for all the big pools on the ground. And what I'm hoping for on this run is to get a Jackpot. Not only is it, in my opinion, a really good shotgun, it's newer, so a lot of people haven't necessarily seen it, and it's got an interesting mechanic, so that would be something to talk about. Now, when you look at the ascensions for the bird, a lot of his stuff is built off of the idea of hitting multiple times with a single shot. So even though that obviously plays into shotguns since they shoot a wide number of pellets with every mouse click, you can also wing a lot of explosive weapons because they can hit multiple times with a single shot. They also tend to have low magazines, and he's got a couple of things for that, like the one that gives you lucky shot and I think weapon damage whenever you're at full magazine, and keeps you at full magazine after a reload shortly. Both of those work really well with things like the Tiger Cannon or the Mortar. Any of that could also be pretty good. Here we go. When your armor breaks, get some weapon and skill damage. Sure. Why not? Why wouldn't you? So, for example, the Dragon Breath, it has an explosion range on it. So if we end up getting, once it loads, on here, doing damage to things close to you, also very important. But increase weapon damage and lucky shot when the magazine's full, and the first few shots after reloading consumes no ammo. Since a lot of those launcher-style weapons are like the shotguns in that they have small magazines, this can be very helpful in being able to shoot more often because you get a couple free shots at the start of it, and also you will be reloading a bit quicker, so it's more important. But this one down here, Victory Rush. Increase weapon damage when the number of hits caused by a single shot is no less than a certain number. So if you hit 1, 4, or 8 times, obviously if your shotgun has 17 pellets and most of those hit, you're going to get that. But with an explosive weapon and enough enemies, you can also get that to pop off for you. Granted, it's probably not going to help a whole lot when you're fighting bosses and elites, which for me is what the biggest problem is when I'm playing the game. Occasionally you'll have some rough places with groups of enemies, but I feel like elites and bosses is where most runs go to die. Hey, don't poke me. Alright, we'll use our leap to get some armor back. Lone Ranger is not exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna leave the wheel saw on just in case we run out of ammo on our special weapon. Ooh, it looks like we're staying in original Act 1 today. We're not going to alternate Act 1. Which means we may actually see any of the other elites. It's been a while. Haven't seen Horsehead and Spear Guy and the Beetle in quite a bit. Swords could also work really well. Not with this particular setup with double tap and everything, but, you know, the bird in general. Even though this is a weapon run, I'm not afraid to use my, my skill. At least in the early game, until we can get some other things situated. Make sure to keep it loaded up. You gotta feed the beast. I'm not sure if it's easy to pick apart the damage numbers to see how double tap is affecting. But if you look at it, if I had like the illusion and I could shoot really fast, you would see like one shot hit and do like a 1,000 or some, and then the next shot would hit and then not do nearly as much. I don't want to go to the Crafty Man until I check out all of the NPCs here. We got a Phantom Peddler in the next room. Give me a scroll. Vindictive Nature is nice. Taking damage will let us deal more damage. Skill guy, what do you got for me? Replace a non-exclusive with an exclusive? Well, we could technically make this hell even better, but I don't know if that's what we'd really want. Oh my gosh, a 4? And a configuration I liked seeing early on? Yes, please. Give me one of those. And then over here, so one of the things that we could really look for in this setup is going to be Lucky Shot, because even though we don't have a weapon damage bonus, we kind of got a base damage bonus using double tap. So, you know, there's going to be, it's sort of similar to that, but I feel like Lucky Shot will be more important than weapon damage in general. That said, I would be fine with either one. So I'm gonna lock this in just in case we don't see it, but I really would love to see Lucky Shot. Okay. Let's throw you in here. And don't forget that the leap also has invulnerability on it. While you're moving through the air on the leap, you can't take damage. So you can use it for gap closing without needing to upgrade it or anything. I was really hoping for more of the weapon focus things. I would rather not have my armor break. Some damage resistance, don't discount it. I'll be happy taking that. A porcupine. Each projectile hit on an enemy. Yeah, we could do that. If the thunderstorm has the thing that says it does piercing before it explodes, that also actually works really well with this because it's going to be hitting multiple times. It doesn't have extra projectiles, so double tap doesn't go off, but I mean with the bird in general, I need to make sure I'm being specific with that. Bird in general, thunderstorm with piercing on it can be a lot of fun. Okay, with that said, Crafty Man, I would rather have the Lucky Hell get my upgrades here because, like I said, Lucky Shot is going to be the thing that we're really going to be pushing for. I think it's one of the vectors of damage that's pretty easy to get early on. It would be really hard to get, like, crit high enough to make it a worthwhile investment. It'd be hard to get... I mean, you're also, like, landing shots on the weak point is going to be a difficult thing. Alright, and now come over here. There we go. Let's get you away from all the other enemies. A Purgator. An Octopus. I guess with the runes, maybe it wouldn't be too hard to set up crit. Big Eater's nice. Fire Enthusiast. I think we'll just take the Big Eater and have a little bit of extra survivability. I just always feel like it's hard to get crit stacked up compared to Lucky Shot and weapon damage. And due to double tap, we already basically have a head start on weapon damage. That doesn't leave a whole lot. What are you gonna be? You could be Cube, you could be Dragon. You're Dragon, okay. Wait for the health bar. I don't know which one it is, so let's grab this. Oh, it's you, hi. I don't know why I thought it was that one, but I'm glad I was right. Blessing in Disguise this early, I'm not sure if I want that. Because we're going to be stuck at 2 for a long time. I'm going to take it though. Ultimately, in the long run, whenever you use the 3 chances to select both options, you're getting more ascensions during the run than you would otherwise get. So it is really valuable. The problem is I'm in Act 1 and I'm going to have my choices reduced to 2. And we're doing a very specific kind of run where we're doing weapon damage. And we've already had, with 3 choices, some pretty bad pulls. Alright, let's gap close, get in close. Let's manipulate you. Ow. Mm-hmm. Oh. Alright, let's see if we can get a jackpot here. And Argus? Argus has piercing +1. That's not bad either. We can get a piercing. What kind of Gemini would we be looking for? That is a fantastic question. There's a jackpot. I think I want to take the jackpot. Is it better than our current weapon? I don't think so. But what we're gonna do is the explosion setup on it. I've never done it before, but I think it would go really well. Goodbye, Lucky Hell. So why would I want a jackpot? Well, the jackpot gets around one of the big problems of a shotgun build, in that it's actually pretty accurate. Even at long range, you can see we can pretty reasonably hit headshots because there's no spread on it. It just shoots them in a like grid straight forward. And because of that, you can kind of snipe with it. It's a sniper shotgun, basically. And if we're looking for easy wins on Reincarnation level 10, and we want to get bonuses with shotguns without actually having to deal with the problem of them, Jackpot's going to do a great job at shoring up the problems that most shotguns have. On top of that, we get to have the benefits that it brings. Oh my gosh, I guess we'll take Last Stand level 3. I guess the game expects me to lose my my armor all the time. Did I did pass up a chest. I was gonna say. So how does the jackpot work? It is a shotgun that has a 1 magazine. Oh, buff up my... Yeah, we get extra effects, so this is good. Let me switch you into my primary slot. So the thing about the jackpot is every 8 shots you do, you get a random bonus effect. And you'll see that bonus effect here on the side of it, as well as in the center of the screen. There are 3 effects. On the left, you get explosive shots. So if I shoot this, you'll see now they have an explosion around them. The middle one, when activated, gives you extra projectiles, and you'll see that reflected here. And the last one is just extra weapon damage. Right now, we have explosions and extra weapon damage on this. And every 8 shots you do, you get a different randomized set. Normally, you can get either 0, 1, 2, or all 3. When you have all 3, that's the jackpot. And the only way you can refresh this is by shooting 8 times. If I shoot once and then I press R to reload, nothing happens. You're not actually reloading. It's always a 1 magazine. However, if you do get anything that happens on reload, that doesn't happen here, but it does happen when you do this reload. So it's interesting. You can't force the reload, but after 8 shots, it does reload. So I'm not sure how to exactly explain that in the mechanics of it, other than what I literally just said. But if you want to get the reload bonuses, you have to shoot 8 times, even though the magazine is only a 1. It's a very interesting gun. The bonuses make it super worth it, though. What are we going to be looking for? Well, an increase in damage and explosion damage. That's awesome because the Jackpot can do explosions. We don't have a pistol. We could take Shadow Knight. We did get Lone Ranger, so we'll be shooting from far away. And we're hopefully going to be one-shotting a lot of things, so I don't know if we want total eradication compared to this. So why don't we grab that? Then leap stuff can be useful for survivability, but I think because we have the gun we want now, we can get rid of the capacity bonus for that and Cleave's AoE and damage. That way we can better focus on just the weapon stuff and occasionally leap stuff. What are some other things we want? Well, now that we have the Jackpot, we would really love to have a big explosive weapon in our secondary so that we can get the AoE bonus. So I'm going to start off with the mortar here. But of course, if we can end up with a Tiger Cannon, we would love that. Your explosion range is a little bit too small, buddy. Now, I'm going into this blind. I know this is a showcase, but I haven't actually seen if I can get you. Can I get the AoE on this? I can. Oh, wait. Excluded by the current weapon. Okay, so we cannot get AoE on the Jackpot. Knowing that, we're going to have to probably go with an elemental thing because there's not a whole lot of other stuff. If we get a bigger magazine, I don't think that's going to matter. So, plant spores, it could be okay, but combined crit, not really. Is that... There, element. We can go for element. Okay. Well, in that case then, I'm going to take the porcupine back for element. Do we have another element thing? Nope. Alright, we'll look for a melee weapon then. I should have definitely checked that first. By the way, if you didn't know this, you could look at this thing and you can at least see 3 options on what's here. Obviously, it's going off the bottom of the screen, so that's super helpful. But you can see what things are and aren't available. Let's get some armor and go in. We're gonna see if we can AI manipulate you. Hopefully this doesn't do... Oh, that did too much damage. Alright, gap close so that we can get in melee. Dash back. And you're dead. I was a little worried because I broke the shield on the first hit. Here we go. The first 3 shots consume no ammo, but more importantly, when we're at full, we'll get a bonus weapon and lucky shot chance. So, notice if I shoot, that still counts towards this. I just reloaded. I shoot again, that still ticked down 1. So that staying at full doesn't seem to matter here. However, even though I'm down 1 pip, I'm still getting the bonus. So this magazine of being 1 it's just funky. There's some things that affect it and some things that don't. So you just gotta pay attention to what's going on there. All right, skill energy. We got a pupil with the capacity 2. I really like that inscription. I feel like it leads to a lot of really powerful damaging hits. So at this point, we're just going to get a Gemini for share element, and we're going to put that on probably a melee weapon just to get even more element on it. Continuing to look for lucky shot stuff if we can. When shooting, consume stacks. We don't have a weapon skill. And reloading does give us stuff, but it takes a while to get through all 8 shots, even if we're spamming the click. So I don't know if that's what we want. I'm going to lock this in just in case we don't get another good option. And here, I don't know. Getting more guaranteed crits, I don't think is the way. We are going to be able to crit more easily with this shotgun at long range because, as I said, there's no spread on it. But I think we could just take this charge up of damage, and that should be pretty helpful. Alright, what do you got? A 14 with this configuration? That puts a lot of it on the outside. It makes it hard to do any of the diagonals going towards it. But if we can get a close cluster, this is the configuration I like most. This one might be a little bit easier to get working. I think I'll take that one. All right, empty me out and put everything in. Dog's here. Hey, dog. The charge shot? Nah, I think we just want more than anything to get... Oh, that's gonna be a bit over in the way this is set up. That's probably fine. We didn't end up with any general energy to round out some of those numbers, but whatever. A little bit sad that you can't get the AoE thing. Well, long shot would be good for damage, but I really like propulsion device just to make sure that we can constantly move. I'm a little bit worried about our survivability. Hey, puppy. Our guest is leaving today, so he's staring out the window. She's about to get in the car and go. I guess we are going to be doing elements, so we'll do that. And then I don't like enemies getting the airbag bonus, but airbag is really useful for the bird. So we'll take that. All right, Oppressor. Restoring or losing HP within the last 10 seconds increases max armor by the same amount of HP. Restoring or losing armor within the last 10 seconds increases weapon and skill damage by the same percentage of armor change. So what we're going to see here is that as I lose health from airbag, I get more armor. And then when I lose that armor, it gets turned into damage. So that's a pretty good combination. All right, hey guys, we're gonna use our explosions now. Wonderful. Oh, we got a flowing light. It does have a 50% chance to shock on it. I'll take the enhanced bullet light, so let's pull you out. Take the 50% elemental effect chance. And then we can work towards our Gemini inscription giving us some pretty good elemental. Look at the size of the explosion. It's not like humongous, but it's big enough that it can take care of groups of enemies nicely. Where are you going, bud? There you are. And the thing with the AoE check earlier, that's the kind of stuff I like to do. I load up the game and I go, hey, is this even possible? Because there's a lot of things to try out in the game. If you're in the middle of a run and you're like, let's see if we can do this. All right, kick. Notice how I just went through the rock entirely? We could just do that and be relatively safe. Bloody ammo. Oh, strategic advantage. Heck yeah. I love movement speed. Gotta be one of my favorite genders. So right now, I don't have a bonus on the jackpot. If you have the ammo and the time, you could always just, in that situation before going into a room, shoot a couple of times and empty it out. But here's why I like the jackpot. We could just hang back. We're sniper shotgunning. We got the extra projectiles right now. Hey, buddy. We got the same bonus of extra projectiles. I'm gonna get into the back lines here where I feel safer. So whenever dealing with this guy, I usually wait until I got the explosions so that you can just hit him and not have to worry about the shield. But you could also use elevation to your advantage. His AI doesn't take into consideration you standing over top of him and shooting down over the shield. So if you come over to a space like this and look down on him, you can kind of just shoot over the shield and not have to worry about it. Alright, we got a bunch of NPCs here. We'll take a look at what they got. All right, after a leap, extra damage, or after killing an enemy or destroying an item, getting extra damage. I think this is a take both situation. I don't expect that to happen very often. And if we do find a better shotgun in general, let alone a better jackpot, we'll be switching over to that. Sucker Punch, skill damage, we can roll for something better. Wait for good. An illusion with projectiles +4. Now, the illusion is a rapid fire shotgun. It has its pretty good uses, especially on like Tau and Aobai, where they can keep the ammo up in it. But notice, even with the +4 projectiles, it doesn't have a lot of projectiles on it. So for the double tap, it doesn't help as much as some other shotguns do. It does already have an element on it though, which is nice, and it does have an extra magazine capacity to it. So you can make an argument that that would be a good pickup, and then we could combine that with the lightning sword. But I really want to show off the jackpot, and so I'll probably just be sticking with that. Weapon skill, no. Charged magazine, no. I'm going to lock in the heavy charge just in case we don't get... Oh, we did get the lucky shot though. Heck yeah, that's what we're looking for. And then some better energy here. We got a long range 3, a short range 3. I feel like this one would go well here. That would put that at a 7, so maybe not, but we'll see. Lock that and then see if we can get a 4, and we did. Okay. We could put that here then. Again, we would... Oh, that puts that at a 6. Ooh, thank you. Would I want this 4? This 4 could go well here and give a 2 and 2, but this one's more immediately useful. So I'm going to put you here. I'm going to move the level boost here and get our lucky shot immediately at a 6. That's huge. All right, you. We've already got you etched. Let's switch over to you and get you etched. We don't want spores. We want elemental. There we go. So now we have a 50% shot to shock. Hey, puppy. There's my good boy. And depending, if you have like the ammo recovery scroll, the one that's like just walk and get ammo back, then there's like really no problem with just unloading your ammo constantly to get at least a couple of the benefits that you want. On this one, I really love the explosion. I think it helps with getting a significant amount of damage out. Because you're like shooting 9 shots, sometimes more if you have the projectile bonus on. And whenever they hit and explode, you're not only dealing the weapon damage, but you're getting the explosion skill scaling bonuses too, so... It's very good. Oh. Hi, bud. We haven't gotten a jackpot yet, though, which is kind of funny. Holy cow, 2-shot that guy. And despite having a particular niche in shotguns, the bird is one of the characters that doesn't have, like, a way to get guaranteed drops of it. Alright, defeat enemies with the weapon. We will. This weapon will defeat them. That's a pretty cool porcupine, but we're not doing it. I feel like since several characters have that bonus, they should just go ahead and do it for everyone, but it's not like it's that hard to get a shotgun. Then again, for like Lynn, it's not that hard to get an assault rifle, you know? Excuse you, where'd you come from? There we go. So, losing our armor isn't terrible because, 1, we have the Nova, but 2, because we have Oppressor, having the airbag trigger all of our health coming back means that we're also going to start losing it again and getting more armor back as well. Okay, a 50% chance for burning. Would I rather shock or burning? I think shock. Just because it helps deal with shields. And that's fine. Yep. I'll take you. I don't remember if I already got my chest, so there might be one back here. Did I already have a chest? Nope, but there is a crafty man. Enhance me up. There we go. Whee! Did I have a vault either? Whatever. Don't even. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we took care of that, right? Somebody screaming with a timestamp where I missed. I guess this also plays into the not being overly concerned with how you're playing the run. As much as I want to show that when you play efficiently, the game becomes a lot easier, I could also not play efficiently and the game is still not terrible. I don't need to obsess over every single little optimization just to survive on the hardest difficulty. Ouch. You don't actually have to be that concerned. Again, we've got airbags, so even though it was like my health was super low, as soon as my armor broke, I would have gone back to full health. Alright, we only have the weapon damage right now. Gonna fire into their back lines. There you go. Sniper shotgun. Oh, an elite? I deserve that. Alright, we got... Have I not gotten a jackpot yet? I don't think we've seen a single jackpot since picking this up. Oh, there's one. But I meant not another jackpot, but getting all three bonuses at the same time. What do you got on you? Weapon damage versus elemental, and we get the bonus, and damage versus elites and bosses, and rate of fire on crit hit. Since this is a one-shot weapon, I don't even know if the rate of fire matters, but despite us being at a plus 12 jackpot, this one has some better inscriptions on it. So let's talk about, oh my gosh. Well, I'm really hoping to replace the rate of fire and keep the 40%. Yes! Okay. Elemental curse though kind of sucks. We did get cowardly. We got some pretty bad curses, but so these inscriptions that say 40% weapon damage or like do extra damage for enemies in decay, these are usually total damage bonuses. So they happen at the end of all your other multipliers, whereas weapon level stuff tends to just be base weapon damage. So if I give this plus 3, that would be 3 times 15, 45%. So at first glance, you would be like, well, this is just the same as upping the level of this 3 times. Not entirely, because if we have a lot of other bonuses, this 40% applies to the end of everything else, and because of the way the math works out on that, it's way better than a base damage increase. This jackpot hasn't been cycled yet, so let's shoot him off a couple of times. And now we got projectiles and weapon damage. And an elite fight. We're about to have an elite gathering, so why don't we go ahead and jump in here. I should also check that poisonous ghost to see if it has better elements. It's possible to get inscriptions for extra elemental effect. And we would want to get that to have an even better elemental effect on this. And he's dead. No, what about you? 40%? The Aura of Venom usually has a really high elemental effect chance on it, so that's another one to look out for. Reascend. How are bonuses be? We basically only had one fully dead pick. I would rather not have the note, the one explosion thing, but not what? When your armor breaks, you do damage around you? Because the way we're playing this, we're not going to be that close. It's a nimble poisonous ghost. Okay. We can move on. We got our stone tablet boy over here. Let's take care of him. Hi, sniper. I'm gonna counter sniper you. Get counter snipered. Sniper shotgun. Tell your friends. What are we looking for? I would still want to get more lucky shot. If we could get more lucky shot, I would feel better. However, inflicting elemental effect, you get some reserve ammo back. That would make me feel a little bit better about our ammo situation. But I don't think it's necessary. Let's just re-roll this. Well, I guess we're taking movement speed then. At least we had a backup there. Is there even a good place for this? I don't think so. I don't think we got a good one for it. Refresh me again? Oof. Big oof there. We could do this one and have it go down. You're gonna be overstuffed. Oh, I got 2 energy since the last time we were here. Charge shot. Come over here. Firepower upgrade and move speed. So we can get you both up, max you out. That'll help with more lucky shot. That'll help with more weapon damage. There we go. So where are we at on these? We've got 26% lucky shot isn't a whole lot. 150% from our charge shot. A little bit of movement speed. I don't know why I'm not seeing the weapon damage thing on here. Should be. Hey, boys. The large lads are in town. Oh, we got explosion? I don't care about your shield then. And it's time for the elite gathering. The elites are gonna gather right in the middle of this room. This little tight corridor here. So I'm gonna get above them. Ow. Like this. Where'd you go? Oh. I have the explosion still. So I'm just gonna unload on this guy. Try not to land in the toxic pools. There we go. As long as we have explosions, big shield guys don't really matter. These guys are gonna deny a lot of area, but we do have our big foot across the gaps. And no biggie. Just double checking for anything that might have a better elemental effect chance. Scroll Enhancer. I do like Scroll Enhancer. Allows us to turn a lot of dead options into something better. Can I look at this? What the f- Please? Alright. You don't actually exist then. Oh, some enemies are gonna spawn as soon as I walk up there. Wow, a triple starfly. Cool. Hey, boys. Shoot one more time and see what our bonus is. Just weapon damage? That's fine. Cool. And there we go. Not terrible. Yeah, I had to lock in a little bit there. It wasn't super like impressive or anything. We just had to keep backpedaling while shooting. Hope I'm really selling you on the idea that this is not a difficult run. Corrosion conversion. This is going to be a little scary because this means we're going to inflict decay on ourselves. But with corrosion and conversion and the lightning share element, that means we're going to be applying miasma to enemies, which is always nice. Special ammo fits the bill. There we go. Not bad. It's only an 8% chance to decay, so don't expect it all that often. But anytime you got the extra projectiles on here, you know, you have to factor in that every one of those hits is getting that 8% chance. Alright, can we kill you before you even fire? Almost. Okay, Merciless combo works pretty well. No. I was considering taking both. If you're doing that fight as the bird and he does the giant laser, just do the kick to go through the laser and you'll be safe. And we don't need rapid fire. Any gun where you can't just hold down the button and continuously shoot is not going to count as continuous firing. So don't get that. You won't actually be able to get it. The reload time and weapon damage, again, that only comes into effect after doing the 8 shots. So on the 8th shot, we'll get that, and for 3 seconds, we'll get the bonus damage. But I don't think that actually matters in this case. Wow. I'm gonna lock that in case we don't get something good here. And we kinda didn't. So, oh, we could take the increased elemental effect. I think I'll just take the speed edge, because we are still doing movement speed stuff, so that makes sense. Where would we like to see this shape? That is a great question. We kind of don't have a lot of great spots for this. This one is only here because of that. So if we end up with one of these shapes that can go forward, that could do you pretty good. Let's refresh though. One of these. Getting a double 3 over there, putting this in the corner. If we could put that like there, and then this one over, This is a shape that usually works out okay with these configurations, but I'm gonna lock you in and roll the rest. Yeah, like this one is basically an upgraded version of this. This one, I think it's going to be hard to get the little left side one to get into place. So I'm going to take you, we're going to empty this out and drop everything back in and see what the game gives us. Let's get our lucky shot to 6. There's a +4 just sitting here while you're at a +3, so let's make sure you're in there. The charge shot, move speed. We got 2 energy, so we could get you maxed out. Would I rather have the charge shot maxed out, though? I think having the move speed thing up is pretty nice, though. And weapon levels. Or charge shot. Let's just get the charge shot up. Okay. Let's not overthink it. We don't need to. I think we'll be fine. Peddler's wares are more expensive. That would give us our misfortunate aura, so I'm okay with taking that. Lucky shot chance on crit hit. It's not hard to land crit hits for the most part with the jackpot, so I'm tempted to take that. However, I would really love to get speedrunner, so I'm actually going to go there. Moldy bun, I'll take almost every time, because the enemy effect down here of initial HP randomly generated between 50 to 90, it's massive, because you almost always give these interdependent fortunes to elites, and if an elite has their health randomized, that helps out with clearing them super fast. Elemental Torment. We are kind of doing an elemental thing, so I think we can lock in on that. If we see Painkiller, we could take Painkiller. At this point, overconsumption would be past its point, so I'll just take the Runic Energy Surge and let's take a peek at how that affects things. Yeah, we got some stuff that's over, so we can lock you there. You're over. There, you're at an 8 and 8. We have 1 left over, so we can bump you up to a 6. Wonderful. Actually, do I want the extra weapon levels? I don't think so. I think we care about this more right now. We'll probably get there eventually. Alright, I'm gonna shoot this a couple more times, see what we get. Extra projectiles. So now we have 19.5 projectiles. Holy cow. We don't have the explosion. I am seeing red numbers occasionally, which is nice. Hey, Yaksha. And we'll keep our eye open for, yeah, more elemental effect chance for our secondary weapon and maybe a better jackpot, but man, a triple exclusive jackpot that has the element stuff on it too. That's pretty good. An enhanced lone wolf? I don't know. Oh, this is something I meant to bring up earlier, but this thing being able to hit the 3 nearest enemies on crit means that every 4 critical hits, you will hit 4 at once, which means for the ascension the bird has to hit multiple enemies with a single shot. The Viper Sight can get some of that bonus, so you could do a funny little Viper Sight run. I would rather see... Okay, enhanced propulsion device for even more movement. Cool. And then we have scroll enhancer, so Lone Ranger became enhanced anyway. That's kind of funny. What are the odds of that? Hey, crafty man. Pump me up. Oh my gosh, my move speed. We're cruising now. Activate. Thank you. I only have the explosion bonus, but it's pretty good. Meteor lanterns. You're above me? There we go. So this inscription here says, each draw effect gains an extra boost, more projectiles, more final damage, and a bigger explosion range. So normally the explosion range on the jackpot isn't this big, but because we have that inscription, it's looking pretty juicy. Thank you for your support. I'll take that general energy and apply that here. And, let's get rid of this one. It's a 1 pip, which means now that we've taken it, it's out of the pool and it won't take up more slots. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but we're not really leaping, so... Hit 50 times in 100 shots? We could probably do that. And then, do I just want more armor? Yeah, we could do that too. I'll save my refresh for later. However, we need to immediately get in this because I'm going to be losing health because of that. Notice that your skills are blocked out while you're in a vault. Because vaults have their own challenges in there, they don't allow you to make progress or lose progress on your challenges. Oh, we jackpotted! We have all 3. Look at that. We got you get a little crown here whenever you've got all 3 of them. Okay. Recover armor on leap. So now if we're ever down a significant portion, we can get a lot more. Strategic advantage is so nice. A speedy traveler as a treat. We'll just move a little faster. I don't know why speedy traveler doesn't also contribute to speedrunner, but I guess there's plenty of you can't get more than 3. Yeah. See, if you try to get a 4th one on there, it doesn't. Not that I would have wanted to get rid of it, because that 40% versus elites and bosses is actually pretty goated. And there is one other jackpot inscription I would want to have on this, but not at the loss of our damage versus elites and bosses. Where are you jumping up? You jumping up over here? Oh, you're not jumping up at all. We got lanterns behind me. There we go. Just dive into the back lines. And now it's cleanup time. 40% chance. Skill damage, a golden goblet refresh, that would be pretty nice. We could take that. Didn't leave anything else up here, did I? Like maybe an additional elite fight? Another good thing about having explosions is anytime you have the thing that says you need to land so many hits and so many shots, that as long as the explosion touches something, that counts as a hit. Kind of hard to miss when you're doing lots of explosions. And they're bigger than normal. Elite Crab Vanguard, alright, your armor's down, spawn in your bros. I destroyed that tree. We only have the explosion bonus now. I think, did I say earlier there was one more inscription I wanted on the jackpot, but then not say what it is? If so, I don't know if I'm repeating myself. Ooh. I feel like it's a little late for dual edge, but we're also not close enough to enemies on that, so I'll take it anyway. It's a legendary scroll. I don't want the game thinking I'm unappreciative of it. But, there's an inscription for the jackpot that makes it so that you are guaranteed to get 2 of the upgrades. So you're never at less than 2. You're not always going to be jackpotted, but you'll always have at least 2, which is insanely good. I still feel like the jackpot's fine, even when it's limited to nothing, when it's got no upgrades on it. It still works just fine. But obviously oh, we jackpotted again. Obviously, the more enhancements that you have active at once, the better. And when it's jackpotted, it is really good. You get the extra weapon damage, explosions, and projectiles. Couldn't ask for more. This does bring up, trying to find a good Gemini for shotguns is hard. It feels like Element is the only thing really worthwhile. Because even when you're doing the spores, the shotgun is usually the thing staying in your backpack. You're not usually applying the spores with the shotgun. What am I? I'm getting money. Let's get rid of my Cowardly Bully. The Elemental... Actually, let's get rid of the Elemental. Putting things in elemental effect is a good source of damage for us, and that's useful against everything, even not elites and bosses. Have crabs generating crabs around here. Oh, you're the stone merchant. Hi. Sorry I shot you. Can we get another lucky shot, please? Another lucky shot? Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta ask. Never underestimate the power of a good ask. Where is this +3 coming from? You. Of course. So I would put a 7 on that. Yeah, that's fine. We have a 5 here, but I really don't have a spot for it. When you have one of these, all of your corner spots are taken up. So it's really hard to fit that in. I didn't lock that in. Lock it in this time, though. Okay. If I +1 here, that might actually be better. Yeah, give me that. And then swap those. Boom. More lucky shot. Lucky get. Ow. How dare you shoot me like that? The bullets for this gun do not move at a very high velocity, so it is possible to just shoot and then walk around a corner and listen for the hit marker like that. Not that you really need to watch any bullets fly to their destination, but generally if you're hitting stuff here, they're dying. You're dead. I'm seeing consistent red numbers now. You just had a prolonged death animation. Hello? Come here. Where are you going? Oh, there we go. Finally, the thing I wanted to see all along. We get it. Any other things? I get the feeling we're not getting better than the 50% chance from the sword by the end of this, which is fine. Shouldn't be expected to get much better than that, but it'd be really nice to get an elemental version. The elemental enhanced melee weapon. And I wanted to do this with the Jackpot just to make it as easy as possible. Being able to snipe enemies from far away with a shotgun is really nice for survivability and ease of use. But don't think that this only works with the Jackpot. You could definitely use other guns, you just might have to get a little bit closer in order to wipe things out. A Jackpot get. A fast loader we're not actually using. A piercing. Oh, these aren't even enhanced, right? Thorny Carapace. Well, we can take the ammo recoverer just so that I can set up my Jackpot how I want. Fire Tower. This one only has a 30% chance. This is one of those inscriptions that would be amazing for this. The 50% total weapon damage against enemies in burning effect on a weapon with a 50% chance to burn. Incredible. Incredible. Alright. Let's just weave our way through this mess of enemies. Split boys. Lanterns? One-shot him. Oh, I'm standing in fire. I'm brilliant. 3 shots on that one, though. He must have been a little robust or something. Nope, stop diving. Is that another Jackpot? Like I say, it's probably not possible for us to do better than this. I'll still look at them, on the off chance that I'm proven wrong because I didn't take something into consideration. But a triple unique Jackpot. That's a tough sell, man. How are you gonna get something better? I guess it could be a different variety of triple. Alright, this is our elite gathering room. Alright, our armor broke. Let's back off for a second. Gotta take care of those arrogant lobsters in the back. They do a pretty decent job at area denial. You'll just be like running along and then suddenly step in a big lava pool and feel like an idiot. Activate their trap card. Alright, where are you hiding? Oh, there you are. There you are. Penetration bullets, crits, deal direct damage. That's fine. We're hitting weak points pretty often. Hey, look, we got a select all situation. Love that for us. And our Millery Sash. It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's a 30% chance. Refresh me. Oh, and look at that. So, a stack of Nova Shockwave for hitting an enemy with a shot. Each stack gives you extra armor for 9 seconds, and when your armor breaks, you deal damage to nearby enemies. So, we'll take all of those. Cool. So, we used up our take all option just before going into Act 4. I feel like this is one of those runs where we could go into Act 4. I don't think we're going to learn anything new. I feel like you should pretty much understand what we're doing here, but this one's going fast enough. I feel like, could be wrong, that we could just blaze through Act 4. Shoot this off. Extra weapon damage? Nah. Give me more than that. Alright, explosion and I'm gonna take this because when we have explosions, being able to scale is pretty good. Devil's Covenant. It would help for Ethereal Feline. Do we need the money? Actually, we don't want to lose our HP because we have Oppressor, and Oppressor likes it when we have more HP to lose. So, let's not. Okay. Hey, Crafty Man. A level 55 Agile Jackpot. Use your leap to cross the field here. Of course, it's the last guy. And you don't have to be a rush in this fight, even though it's on Reincarnation level 10. You can just sit behind the turret and just dodge the artillery fire. Wait. We skipped a whole phase of that fight. A whole phase of that fight got skipped. Oh, look at this porcupine. Alright, well, apparently that can happen. Cool. maybe we should end it there. We're breaking the game. The game might try to get revenge on me after that. We're already at red on our lucky shot. We could go a little higher, but at this point, I think I would want the weapon damage. Can we get another weapon damage? The charge shot does count towards that. Rapid fire, elemental damage? Actually, we'll take the elemental damage. Ooh, yeah. That's right, we've got the bonus element stuff. So you could go right there. We've got everything maxed out. Yeah. I don't think we need to look at them anymore. We could probably get some more benefits. Oh, explosion bullets, cool. Thunder Step is nice just for getting enemies off of us, so we could take that. Decay Driver, we are occasionally doing Decay, and this gives us our Speedrunner, but would I want Merciless Strike? Merciless Strike is good, and we are routinely critting, but I really want to lock in Speedrunner if we can. And then Elemental Weave. We haven't gotten Evil Devouring Sword, so taking another curse at this point doesn't really matter. Do I care about enemies not getting knocked back? I think we're pretty much one-shotting them anyway. Alright, is there anything we would want to give up at this point? Painkiller is incredible, but I think we've already shown how incredible Painkiller could be. I could, if I was playing this optimally, I would probably replace Oppressor with that, because even though we're getting some benefits from Oppressor, I feel like Painkiller would be the more obvious choice, but let's focus on other things on this run. Ta-da! And I think this is the point of the run where we put a little thing out there for the people that have been enjoying the video all the way through. I've consistently asked what your favorite thing is. How about this time? If you've played a game over the last year and you you didn't finish it, like you dropped it because you just weren't enjoying it, name that game. What's a game that you just stopped playing because it was not fun? I'm gonna have to think about that myself. Because usually I'll at least finish a game. I'll say this, I did not finish Silksong. As much as I loved the original Hollow Knight, I didn't play it until the week before Silksong came out, and I was like, oh yeah, I get it. This is incredible. Then Silksong came out, and I was not enjoying it, and I hit like a wall, I think right after the judge fight. I was like, wow, the judge fight itself I didn't dislike. I thought the judge fight was fine. But right after that, you go into Act 2, and you get nickeled and dimed with all of the benches that eat your money up but then go away. They're just like rental benches, and I was like, this game sucks. Fuck this game. And I stopped playing it. Gave it like a week, and then I was like, alright, why don't we come back to it and play it again? And then I felt the same way about going through, it's not Bile Water. There was another, or was it Bile Water? Maybe it was Bile Water. One of the places with all the poison stuff and having to fight bosses there, and I was like, nope, I'm done with this. Gave it a week and then came back to it again. I made a lot of decent progress all the way into Act 3. And then in Act 3, there's the gauntlet in the Coral Tower. And I was like, nope, I'm actually done this time. This is just ass. And I stopped playing it altogether. Didn't go back to it. Which is a shame. There's a lot of really great stuff in Silksong. But I felt like the tower was just a big middle finger fuck you. I'll put up with a lot of shit that games throw at me, but you're gonna make me do like 3 back-to-back 8-wave ambush room? No, I'm not doing it. Get a random weapon, replace it. What if we randomly got an enhanced jackpot with 3? Yeah, it's not happening. But yeah, tell me a game that you didn't enjoy enough that you just stopped playing it over the last year. Something recent. Okay, I'm pretty sure we don't need to look at any more weapons. There's like very slim chance we'll actually hit something to swap off of. I suppose I'll take you. When the DLC for Silksong comes out, what I'll probably do is start a new save file, go back to the beginning, and play it from the start with my new knowledge and information and see if my opinion on it is different the second time around. Feel like that'd be the best shake. The fairest shake I could give it. Oh. Hi, UFO. I didn't even hear you above me. Almost got me, Walrus. Elemental. All of our damage is looking pretty good. A benefit that shotguns have over a lot of other weapons is that because they do damage based on a bunch of individual hits, you don't have to worry about damage cap as quickly as some other weapons like sniper rifles and stuff. That's one of the bigger problems that you run into. Oh, innovation. I was like, this is not the gathering room. What are you doing? Oh my god. There we go. We just missed like 12 times in a row. Oh my, never mind. We hit an elemental fire tower right at the end. Okay. Okay then. Hand over 3 scrolls, get a goblet. You better believe I'm gonna do that. Skill damage stuff. Skill damage stuff? Thunder screen. Even though we're benefiting from explosion damage on it, this won't even affect bosses and elites. So, well, actually it does affect elites, just not bosses. We can get rid of you. And at this point, we don't need the extra surprise, so. Definitely take me a goblet. Even though it didn't actually pay out well. Did I already go buy a crafty man earlier? I'm guessing not. We might just do the elite invasion and then go grab that. %83 elemental chances. Very nice. Though if we're playing against the Pole Monarch, the shock would be better. The Pole Monarch puts up a pretty hefty shield, so having shock for that is way nicer than fire. Backup shield, bluff. We have airbag, so bluff doesn't matter. While shield or armor is recovering. Sounds pretty good. We're almost always in a situation where we have a little bit of armor damage. Alright, let's do the elite gathering. We'll also check if we have a crafty man in this room. You're not dead. I thought it was flying away from dying. Just use this choke point. Funnel them all through the choke point. There we go. Not bad. Everyone dead. Okay, all of the elites dead. Now you all. Look how easy that was. Just lead everyone through this choke point. What if we got an even better elemental effect chance? The best thing you could hope for is like a melee weapon with elemental effect chance inscription and the elemental enhancement. And then I'm pretty sure you can have it cap out over 100%. Hey, look, we got the double damage there. Give me one of those. Are we even looking for anything? At this point, we could get rid of the move speed edge for another weapon damage bonus. Another lucky shot? I don't think we need another lucky shot. We could probably replace the elemental. Nah, the elemental damage is also doing pretty decent for us. The charge shot? We could probably get rid of the charge shot for something else. Another speed edge. Because we're shooting pretty fast. So like the first shot we do, decent amount of damage. After that, not really. For the rest of the fight, we're not getting the benefit of it because we don't have time to charge it up. So that one could probably go. We'll lock in the speed edge then. And then we're just looking for replacement stuff, but considering we don't even have anywhere to actually use it, it doesn't really matter. Like, is there even one? If we had the same shape, but just better points. I'm just wasting everyone's time by looking at these. This, a 4 and 2 versus a 3 and 1, sure. There we go. And the charge shot, you're getting replaced. Ta-da. And now we have more final damage that should be consistently better. And where are you? Fire tower. 83% chance. We'll get a crafty man just before the boss so we can get that forged up. I'd be very upset if we didn't. It is the pole monarch, so I am kicking myself a little bit for switching out the lightning. Oh. Well. Do I want the paranormality? I don't think so. I think this is a situation where I don't want either one of them, because we are still getting the oppressor bonus for losing health, and then we get a big thing for losing our armor. But if we have paranormality and we lose our armor, then we're probably dead. And if I have flesh and bones, we'll get bloodbath, but I also won't have any of the armor for the extra damage from oppressor, so I don't think we can take either one of those. That doesn't really matter. We already got rid of one of you. Do I still have scroll enhancer? I do. Alright, well, I could just immediately sell you again then. And there we go, it's been destroyed. Alright, share my elemental advantages, please. Thank you. And let's see how cool we kill a bear. We do have a jackpot right now. You're already down one. That's down. Give me your head. You're invulnerable. Remember, we've got the benefit of airbag, so even though my health looked really low there, it's not actually low. We're gonna move some of our armor around. Oh, I lost the jackpot. Okay. Ta-da! Oh, and the game rewards us with another jackpot at the end. A lucky jackpot at that. That would be better than our agile, but let's get the ending screen with the one that we took with us. And there we go. Bird Boy has a really easy win there on reincarnation level 10 with the jackpot. Double tap is pretty strong. It basically doubles your damage output if you have a lot of projectiles on a single weapon. like the Jackpot can. And also, it's relatively safe. Like, we don't have to get very close. It has no spread, so you basically have a sniper shotgun. It just has, like, a pretty wide range, but it keeps that range the whole way down. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this in the future, subscribe. If you have tips or tricks or suggestions for characters you want to see played next, leave them down below. But until next time, remember to take care of yourselves and take care of those around you. Bye-bye.